Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, The Mutual Fund Guys, where we only talk about mutual funds. I am Samir and on the other side is Mahesh Bhagwat. We both are partners at AMS Investments, a mutual fund distributor based out of Mumbai. So today's topic is going to be slightly deviant from mutual funds. It's about the argument of buying a house versus renting a house. It's a very popular topic. I think there are maybe thousands and thousands of videos on various channels across YouTube debating on this topic. And we thought that maybe we can share our perspective and our experience with it, because I have rented my house before. I also have my own house, the one that you're currently seeing, and I could probably give you a better sense on what are the pros and cons of either buying a house or renting a house, and how you should evaluate whether you should buy a house or rent a house. Before we get into this topic, Mahesh, I thought it's very important to clarify one underlying problem is when you make a decision either to buy a house or to rent a house, you have to ask yourself this question: which country you're currently living in, and or which country you intend to live for the next several years till your retirement or till you pass away, right? That is a very important question to ask. For example, if you are living in India and if you look at the metros, essentially, in India, the rental yields are much lesser than the amount you would pay if you had to buy the house on mortgage, because the mortgage rates in India are quite high, around 10%, whereas the rental yields in India are about 2%. What this means is that, let's say you want to buy a house worth 5 crores, you need to pay a down payment of 1 crore, for example, then take a loan about 3 crores or 4 crores, and that would cost you around maybe 3 to 4 lakhs a month. Whereas to rent a house worth 5 crores, you might have to pay maybe 1 lakh a month.
Yeah, you probably get 1 lakh a month.
And you'll get the benefits of enjoying a 5 crore kind of a house. So that's in India. If you look at a place like Dubai, where I live, it's the scenario is quite opposite. In Dubai, the rental yields are very high. So the rental yields in Dubai are at 7%, whereas the mortgage rates also at 7%, slightly less now. Then the question whether to rent or buy is very personal. So this is the basic premise. First, you need to decide whether which country that you're arguing about. Are you living in India? Or you're living in Dubai, or you're living in the United States? There are different scenarios in different countries. So that's point number one. The second point is, for those people who argue that rental is better than buying a house, their argument is a very pure financial argument. Okay, especially when you're talking about people who are living in India. So there are a lot of influencers out there who say that if you are living in India, it makes absolutely no sense to buy a house, especially if you're living in the metros. It makes no sense to buy a house because the rental yields are so low. Now that perspective is a very financial perspective. From a finance perspective, it makes a lot more sense to go by that thesis. But there's an emotional angle to it as well, right? For a lot of people, a house means a lot more than just a financial decision, right? For me personally, I always looked at it from a financial perspective, right, when I was in India. But then when you have a child, when you have a family, and when you have a child, your perspectives change quite a bit. For me, a house doesn't just mean a roof under your head. It means to me having some sort of security and safety of having a roof under your head. Second is that you don't have to keep shifting homes every 3 years or 4 years. You don't have to go through the mood swings of your landlord every couple of years because you want to change something in the house, you want to break a wall, or you want to sort of make an adjustment to your living space. You don't have to go through all that ordeal. And for me, it was also my child. I would really want my child to live in one community, have friends in that community, so that she can play with, some friends who are there. If she had shifted houses frequently, that continuity is not there. So emotional decision doesn't mean just I want a roof under my head. It could also mean some sort of legacy, some sort of consistency. These are some of the emotional decisions that you have to consider when you make these kind of decisions, right? There are influencers out there, such as, Zerodha CEO Nikhil Kamath, right? Who says you should only rent and not buy a house. And that's a pure financial decision. But you have to also understand the context behind that decision that he's trying to convey. He's clear about a few things. He doesn't want to get married. He doesn't want to have kids, which is fine. That's no argument there. His perspectives are very different because he's looking at a pure financial decision, right? You might have a different perspective because you want to have a family, want to have a consistency in terms of upbringing your child, have neighbors that you really know and appreciate. Those are intangibles that you cannot really value through money. Now, there is a connection between this and investing as well. A lot of people need to figure out if investing is purely a financial decision or is also an emotional decision. What I mean to say by that is that if you derive a lot of emotional value by doing your own research on stocks, by attending investor presentations, by going on conference calls, learning about a sector, mingling with like-minded people in the industry, then maybe direct stock investing might be the right way for you to go. Okay. But if you're just making a pure financial decision that I want to make a return that beats inflation over long periods of time, and I don't get any emotional value by sort of understanding a sector or understanding a company, then maybe mutual fund investing is a better path for you. You need to figure out what kind of person you are. Do you like to make decisions purely based on finance, or do you make decisions based on your emotional sort of tendencies as well? So that is my whole point to anyone who's watching, right? Whether it's buying a house or renting a house, or whether investing in equities directly or through mutual funds, before you answer those questions, you need to ask yourself, what kind of person are you? If you are an emotional person, maybe the path is different. If you are a pure finance guy and you only think of numbers, then maybe there are other avenues that suit you more, right? So this was the whole point of this video, is to figure out what kind of a person you are. Even, for example, a lot of people, they want to get into trading, they want to get into options trading, which is very popular in India these days, without really knowing if they really have it to really be a successful options trader or trader, right? Because you need very different kind of skill sets, and more than skill sets, you need a very different emotional balance in your mind to be able to trade options every day, and seeing big swings in your profit and loss statement every day can have a major toll on your mental health. For some people, it's very easy. Some people can go through this in a breeze. For some people, it takes a humongous toll on their psyche, right? For them, maybe longer term investing, medium term investing is a much better way of building their wealth. So that was the reason why I wanted to do this video, and I thought it might be helpful to those people who are trying to make these decisions about their life, about whether it's buying a house or renting a house or investing in mutual funds or investing in direct stocks or trading in futures or in options. So hopefully this video will help you make those decisions better.